Dude. How's it going, everyone? Equinox here, and today we're gonna talk about The Flash, season 8, episode 16, titled "The Curious Case of Bartholomew Allen." Oh boy, this episode is it's a bit of a doozy. All right, so we start off with. Uh, we start off with Dungeons and Dragons. Allegra, Cecile, Chester, Barry, and Joe are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Or to be more specific, Chester is telling Barry, "Hurry up, dude. We're gonna die." And it gives you like, Barry, why the fuck are you abandoning your team vibes? Like, what the hell? Barry's off, fighting petty crime, like, oh, and then, saving grandma for being run over. He gets butterscotch as a reward for it. Let's go. Oh yeah, the dude texting and driving, about to run over some granny, is listening to grandma got run over by a reindeer. I'm just like, what the fuck meta type shit is this? Also, why are you listening to grandma got run over by a reindeer in May? Like, I know I have a habit of listening to Christmas music in April just to piss people off. But that one's a bit it's a bit of a depressing song. Anyway, uh moving on. Barry does make it in just in time to roll the dice, and it's just like, and that's when we find out he's playing D&D, and I'm like, really, all this panic for D&D? Anyway, Joe is at the moment not having a lot of fun because he's very much set in his ways. He's like, I'll just read the Miranda rights or whatever, and it's just like, you can't read a dungeon crack in the Miranda rights, man. Anyway, Barry gets a text or call or whatever from someone that leaves him smiling, and he has to go to CCPD. It's not Kramer for once. It is former It is no. It's the current chief of police. If I'm remembering right, it is chief of police David Singh, right? Because that's what he said in the episode later on. Anyway, David, the chief brings Barry a case, and apparently he decided to cover for Kramer, which is to cover for Barry with Kramer, even though Kramer knows. Anyway, um, Barry does reveal that Kramer knows. She figured it out. He didn't tell her. To be fair, she wouldn't have figured it out if it wasn't for the Well, he would have told her that episode anyway if it wasn't for her figuring it out. So it's all good. Anyway, we have a gamma radiation machine type thing, and very quickly being stolen from, was it Mercury Labs again? I swear Mercury Labs needs better security. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Mercury Labs, and that means that Mercury Labs needs to really up its security because that shit gets broken into even more often than Star Labs. Although, I think it was Mercury Labs. It doesn't say in the thing, so I'm just gonna keep it there. But it is interesting to know. Very very quickly, just speedster runs all over his lab. And just like he's like, okay, they're at the docks, warehouse docks. He's like, look, and then he heads off to go and arrest the dude, and he gets in touch with Chester, who apparently is now in Star Labs. That made no sense, but okay. Like Barry literally just left Joe's house with everyone there. Why is Chester at Star Labs all of a sudden? We're not gonna question it just yet. But anyway, Chester's like, oh, blah blah blah, and then Barry opens the back of one of those like big like kidnapper vans. That's the only way I know how to describe them. They're like, you know, unmarked vans that people used to kidnap children. That's all. I only know how to call them kidnapper vans. I don't know what they're actually called. Um, but Barry opens the back of one, and voila! Suddenly, gamma radiation ahoy! Now out walks the criminal mastermind, and when Barry asks, "You want to tell me what you're doing?" Uh, Before or after I arrest you, and his response is, "I'll show you," and activates the machine, blasting Barry with gamma radiation aplenty. This results in Barry aging, hence the title. He's aging kind of like Benjamin Button, but in reverse. Um, Now throughout this episode, Barry is running is essentially running away from the possibility of aging to death. And Joe is just frustrated with everything changing seemingly too fast. Now, Chief Singh goes and visits Joe, and after hearing Joe's complaints, he reminds Joe that the old case that took forever for them to solve wasn't didn't take forever because dead ends and whatnot. It took forever because Joe kept trying to use file folders instead of the police department's new system. He didn't want to, flow with the times, as it were, and that is the problem he's running into now. He's stubborn. He's very much stubborn and set in his ways. A trait his son-in-law is very much sharing this episode. Barry, every time he uses his speed, ages, and he's refusing to not use his speed. Now, so much so that when he tries to catch the as of yet unnamed villain, um he has a heart attack. He has a heart attack. His vision goes blurry, and then he has a heart attack. Look, this man is aging. He aged 30 years overnight, and this time he aged another 10. Uh, that leaves Barry at like 70 something, right? Barry's very genuinely freaking out. He's got memory issues. Um, he forgets where the Starchives are. That's the Star Labs archives. Starchives. I love it. Cecile manages to get through to Barry after he gets lost by mentioning her grandmother, who chose to live life even in her golden years the way she wanted. She didn't run from it. Um, this was okay. Now, I did skip one little interesting tidbit. We go to Corbin Technologies, where Dr. Orloff, the villain of the week, um, is from. Barry calls him Olsen at one point, which is funny, but also ooh. Like I said, memory loss. Is from Corbin Technologies. Now, Corbin Technologies is a name drop of Ted Is it? Hold on. Corporate Technologies. I might be getting something mixed up. Ted- Okay, let me look up. I'm going to double check this just right now, but I am pretty sure that Corbin Techno. Nope, I was wrong. I was thinking Ted Cord, who is the original Blue Beetle. Blah blah blah. But yeah, that's my bad. Oh god, I'm dying. Anyway, he works at Corbin Technologies. Barry finds they find the laptop. Barry fucks up. He's a bit too and takes him and Cecile to the Great Wall of China, and then back. Now Chester manages to save the files from being deleted, and that's when he goes to the Starchives, and Cecile tells him about her grandma. And now it is the final gauntlet, as it were. The amplifier and the gamma gun that Orloff has stolen is going to be used to forcibly age everyone in Central City to dust to give Orloff immortality. Now, the only way to stop it is to overcharge the gun and put the amplifier into overdrive. The only one in Central City at the moment who can do this is Barry Allen. So Barry goes off to do that, and before he does, Cecile says the line, "Run, Barry, run." Now, and Barry does indeed run. He goes there, he's out of breath. Orloff activates the machine, and Barry runs. He runs and runs and runs, but as we know, every time Barry runs, he ages. Barry proceeds to age to over 100 years old and keeps going. So much so, the man has a heart attack and continues to run. Through sheer force of will, Barry reverses the polarity, regains his age and then some, and catapults Orloff's age up. Um, so Barry's now 29. Funny. I guess that means he's married to an older woman. Because I'm pretty sure Iris is his age. Which is, I mean, hey. Although Iris is technically like frozen in time. She's in the Still Force, so uh, yes. I don't know. We don't question that. Uh, now, they go and continue playing D&D, and as Allegra's trying to be like, "Hey, Joe, come on, get in here. We'll adjust to you." And Sing is like, "What's your?" and asks Allegra what her code name is, and she's like, "I don't have one." Joe comes down in full D&D costume and in full character. Everyone is all happy. Now, Carla calls Barry, and because she hasn't seen Caitlin since the funeral, she hasn't heard from her either. Um, Barry goes to visit Caitlin as a result, and Barry discovers what Caitlin's up to. That Caitlin is trying to bring back Frost. I'm going to say this. This whole Caitlin trying to bring back Frost arc is about as stupid and fucking annoying as uh Hope turning off her humanity when she killed Landon. Uh one, Frost wouldn't want Caitlyn to obsess to this point, or even obsess at all. She'd want Caitlyn to live her life. That's literally the point of Frost's death. Frost took on this amazing power that ended up killing her, so that Caitlyn could live. And two, it's not gonna work. Now, beyond that, Barry when he realizes it, Caitlyn tries to go for the uber low blow, by bringing up his parents being murdered, which like, yikes. This is Caitlyn's gone full supervillain in this case. Barry apologizes and then goes full like speedster and just shoots lightning everywhere, destroying everything pretty much. And then takes the mirror gun and he leaves. I I don't like where this arc is going. This could have been done so much better. I mean, they didn't even have to kill Frost. Like, let's be real here. They could have just killed Ronnie all over again, right? When the thing was separated, when Deathstorm was separated, had the Quantum Splicer ripped out, it could have split them into Deathstorm and Ronnie. Had Frost absorb Deathstorm, and then go back to normal, right, when she got injected with ice, and then because of the separation, and Ronnie needs another half, this is already established. Ronnie needs to be fused with somebody. Have Ronnie completely destabilize. And Martin Stein's not around, and Jefferson Jackson, while he is around with Kid and whatnot, he doesn't have the, he's not connected to the Firestorm Matrix. His is like a complete Firestorm Matrix because of Martin's death, and they kind of like stabilized it in Jefferson during Crisis, Earth X Crisis. So yeah, just have Ronnie start flitting about and dying. And then Funeral for a Friend would just be Ronnie's death. Like a proper Ronnie funeral with body and everything, and we just move on with our lives. It doesn't need this whole entire extended as fuck arc where Caitlyn goes super villain, goes full super villain, and shit, breaking her promise to Frost because Caitlyn has pulled back from literally everybody. Like, let's just spit on Frost's sacrifice in every way. Like, that's where it's going, and that's what makes it about as dumb as Hope having her humanity turned off. Like, not even her father, like, not even Hope's father, Klaus Michelson, the great, like, Engie boy himself, did that. And Klaus is part werewolf with heightened emotions, you know. Aeropostale shirt that says New York, it's funny. Anyway, that is the episode. Anyway, tell me what you guys thought of the episode down in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay bright. The episode was good, but just write off Caitlyn. Like, I love Danielle Panabaker, I love Caitlyn Snow, I love Frost, but just write them off.